On April 19, 2025, the United States witnessed a significant wave of protests opposing President Donald Trump's administration. These demonstrations, organized under the banner of the 50,501 movement, spanned all 50 states and extended to international cities, reflecting a broad and diverse coalition of dissent against the current administration's policies and actions. AP News: the 50,501 movement, named for its goal of organizing 50 protests in 50 states, emerged as a decentralized. Its primary objectives include advocating for the impeachment of President Trump, investigating the influence of figures like Elon Musk in government affairs, reinstating rescinded federal diversity initiatives, and protecting the rights of marginalized communities. The movement emphasizes civil resistance, direct action, and community engagement as methods to uphold constitutional values and democratic principles. In New York, thousands gathered in Midtown Manhattan, marching with signs bearing slogans like "No Kings in America" and "Resist Tyranny." The protests addressed concerns over immigration policies, executive overreach, and the perceived erosion of democratic institutions. Participants expressed fears about the administration's impact on civil liberties and the rule of law. Demonstrators in the nation's capital rallied near the White House, voicing opposition to policies they viewed as authoritarian. Speakers highlighted issues such as the targeting of immigrants, downsizing of federal agencies, and the undermining of constitutional checks and balances. The protests coincided with the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War's beginning, drawing symbolic parallels between historical struggles for liberty and current political challenges. In California, protesters formed a human chain on a beach, spelling out "Impeach plus remove," calling for President Trump's removal from office. The demonstration emphasized concerns over immigration enforcement and the administration's stance on civil rights. A central theme of the protests was opposition to the administration's immigration policies, particularly the use of the Alien Enemies Act to target Venezuelan immigrants. Demonstrators decried mass deportations and the treatment of immigrants, advocating for more humane and just policies. Protesters expressed alarm over what they perceived as executive overreach, including the dismantling of federal programs like Social Security and Medicaid, and the consolidation of power within the executive branch. These actions were seen as threats to the democratic fabric of the nation. AP News: the involvement of Elon Musk in governmental affairs, particularly through initiatives like Project 2025, was a focal point of criticism. Protesters argued that Musk's influence represented a dangerous intertwining of corporate interests and government policy, undermining democratic accountability. Beyond traditional protests, the movement incorporated community service activities such as food drives, skill-sharing workshops, and teach-ins. These initiatives aim to foster solidarity and empower communities to take collective action in defense of democratic values. Protests extended beyond US borders, with demonstrations occurring in cities like London, Berlin, and Paris. International participants expressed concern over the global implications of the Trump administration's policies and stood in solidarity with American protesters advocating for democracy and human rights. The April 19, 2025 protests mark more than just another day of demonstrations. They represent a pivotal moment in the American democratic story. From New York to Los Angeles, and from D.C. to distant corners of the globe, people rose up with one voice to denounce what they see as a dangerous erosion of constitutional values and civil rights. Whether you support the protesters or not, one thing is clear: civic engagement is alive and well in America. Movements like 50,501 aren't just about marching in the streets, they're about building community, sharing knowledge, resisting authoritarianism, and pushing for a future shaped by compassion, equality, and justice. With increasing political polarization, rising corporate influence, and the rollback of federal protections, these protests have underscored the importance of staying informed and active. And if you're someone who believes in the power of peaceful protest, political awareness, and standing up for what's right. There are tools and resources out there to help you get involved, from best-selling books on civil disobedience to gear for peaceful demonstrations. Being prepared and educated is more important than ever. Click the links in the description to check out 10 Amazon products that every informed activist, concerned citizen, or engaged voter should see. Whether you're on the front lines of protest or learning from home, every step counts. Stay aware, stay vocal, stay involved. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates on political movements, civic action, and stories that matter. And remember, click the links in the description. Empower yourself with tools that make a difference.